people scratching their heads. They look at, or, I look at Shock as that player who allowed the Sonics to have such a big splash when they entered the professional scene and made it to this highest level. So it's not surprising to me to see them playing this well with him on that starting lineup. But it didn't really matter there. Shock was watching that one as Kronovi pounded it in early.
Yeah, nice carry around by Kronovi initially, and that long ball in front. That first killer he actually pulled off of, and you saw all of Sonics. When you see first killer behind the ball, you respect first killer behind the ball. But he pulled down, he didn't really have the speed to go get it. Sonics didn't know that, so you take that. And the first goal for Rogue.
Certainly, and Rogue is going to feel happy about that. I mean, Shogun was clairvoyant. Somehow he knew that Rogue was going to be here.
It's almost like he's seen it before, but Rogue has certainly had their struggles, James. But I think that everybody, if you're a Rogue fan, you've probably pointed the blame at each player on this team at some point or another. His first killer picks up another save.
And probably different players at different games within the same series. Rogue at times can be so good, and then other times they just struggle. And it's each player, it's like you said, Jorby, has been on the up and down, and they're really looking for a strong performance here. And this would be a big moment. The major points are worth double, so they can put all of that pass behind them with a big win here. And I think a lot of Rogue fans are really hoping for that to be the case, because Rogue, it's been tough times to be a Rogue fan.
It has, but you can understand why they stick with this team, as Sonics will actually pick up on a broken rotation from Rogue, and a nice little way to get back on the board. But James, at the same time,
first,
go ahead.
Are we not going to talk about first killer just passing that right to Shock?
Go ahead.
This is what we were talking about. The ups and downs. First killer is one of the best 1v1 players that there is. One of the best talents in the game. But, in a game like this, every decision matters. And it's not necessarily what you can do on the ball, but what you do with the space that you have. And first killer panicked there. And all the mechanics in the world aren't going to save you when you make a hit like that.
Just behind the ball in that last play is another rising talent, J-Russ, who's looked excellent today overall. Every time I've gotten a chance to see him on stream today, J-Russ looks in peak form. And that's, whenever we get the Sonics team on stream, we always talk about J-Russ being the centerpiece and the heart of this Sonics offense. But with Shock back in, it's a great compliment to have, as Roldiz kicks it downfield again, and Shock will maybe have a rebound, but no, Turinturo got there in time.
First killer got bumped off the back line, though. Might actually work out for him. Great demo from first killer. And another save, that save from J-Russ, but so much pressure coming out. First killer recovered so quickly for this play, Jorby.
This is why he's so dangerous, but really Turinturo is the big reason why this even happens. First killer picks up that corner boost, so he doesn't have to go the whole way back to the midfield line. So he's going to be in prime position, but Turinturo slowing down that touch, the defender in net has to respect the fact that Turinturo might just grab it off the ground and air dribble it back into the net, but it got a little bit away from him, and the defender was flat-footed. That's the danger you face as a team when you're playing against Rogue, because they love playing in the air. They love carrying the ball in the air. First killer and Turinturo, that's their MO. And you respect it because of how good they are and how consistent they are at doing it. And they're showing you why in the first 3 minutes of game one. First killer. I think, I haven't looked at the boost stats for first killer in a while, but he's got to be close to number one in boost per minute. That dude is constantly holding down the boost button. on the last few tries, he has kept the ball away from Sonics.
There was at one point he was literally sitting, not moving, on the midfield pad, waiting for the boost to come back. And like you said, Jorby, Turinturo and first killer so dangerous in the air. They love to be up in the air, masking what they're going to do. Air dribbles, flip, resets. Every tool that there is in the game, they've got it in their toolkit.
So for Sonics, the main question for you, if you can get this clear, as they do, is how do you generate consistent pressure? You've only registered 3 shots on net in almost 4 minutes of game one, and a lot of the game has been this. Grabs off the back wall, but you don't break out fast enough. And when first killer takes that aggressive of a point. Just on defense, Shock, he might have a chance here against Turinturo, but no, Turinturo grabs the ball before he got bumped.
This was a play set up by the patience from Shock. It's demoed by Kronovi.
Just not a lot of heat for the Sonics. They got it 1 or 2 opportunities, but now they're locked back here on defense. And oh, first killer. Well, that's a close angle read if he can get one, but not this time.
And then even though Rogue has had so much possession, has had so many opportunities in the air, it's still a 1-goal game. Sonics should make this interesting with one final push.
More shot opportunities maybe, but Turinturo behind the ball. Shock, last man back. Has patience, and he got the save, but he might have to make another. Here he is, beautifully done by Shock. There's just like pre-jump for a save. It might not be over. Quick counterattack. Shock downfield with a full tank of boost, but Kronovi, way before he gets there, rolled his past to Shock, and he missed the ball. Both bit on Rogue. Is there another chance? No, it will touch the ground, and Rogue will get away with game 1.
That they'll get away with it, certainly. That last pass from Roldes looked really good. You wonder if Shock was on 0 boost, if he was trying to time it perfectly to go. That hurts then, just missing that ball. You've got to put those opportunities on target, at least force a rebound. There was a defender right in front of him. So maybe, you even just try to put it on net and hope it bounces off the defender, off the ceiling, and back down for your team to have another look. That has to be struck. If you were Shock, you've got to put that on target. So Rogue survived game 1, but really the Sonics, they kept it close.
I think the struggle for the Sonics, though, despite them, surviving on defense for a lot of that game, was they just could not really find any clear angles. But Rogue made so many attempts for them awkward. First killer and Turinturo, when they're carrying the ball up high, they're going to force you to either come to them or make a 50-50 opportunity really tough to deal with. And then you'll have to catch up to the ball. You don't have enough boost to deal with it. You might get a clear downfield, but it's staggered. I thought Rogue played, they played how Rogue wants to play there on offense, and they were successful almost behind every single touch. It's looking pretty good right now as Kronovi tries to find Turinturo, game 2 underway.
And First Killer is such an aggressive player, so ready to go upfield. And early on, Rogue struck first in game 1, and they do it again in game 2. First Killer flipping to the wall, getting airborne, and that's how he likes to do things, Jarby, off the crossbar and in.
Interesting, J-Russ, who was on the assignment there, he had plenty of boost to deal with it. And I think he just misunderstood where First Killer was exactly behind the ball. It wasn't completely obvious. I don't think he knew that First Killer was going to be able to push it as much, but the launch angle he took, he cut so far under it. Here's J-Russ cutting higher up in the air. Turinturo will grab the save, but I thought that was actually pretty savable for J-Russ. So at least, he has the capability of reading First Killer on that type of play. No goal just yet for the Sonics, but they do find themselves back on offense. J-Russ's challenge will only be for Rogue in midfield, or maybe not. Sonics grabbed it away. Shock winning against Kronovi. Double touch in. It's open for Roldes. Easy goal, and they're back in.
And Roldes is going to feel happy about that one. There's the ball that went across the goal line that he didn't make contact with. This time, he cleans it up. Excellent effort there from Shock to get that double tap down. That was what beat the defense. So the Sonics staunched the bleeding. It could have been bad, especially after that miss from Roldes, but they recover nicely.
And the big question for Rogue is, can you dominate the Sonics in the orange half as hard as you did in game 1? And it's proving a little more difficult. J-Russ, he's won a couple more 50s that have gone his way. And when, the contest is a little more embattled, it's a lot tougher for Rogue. If Sonics can start generating a little bit more pressure and force Rogue into tight situations where they have to force a couple of plays, that's where the mistakes for Rogue start to come out. And they start, the mispositioning comes, or there's a 2v1 for Sonics coming around the other way, but Roldes bails out. J-Russ just trying to be there, and Roldes another throw, but it's handled for now. Rogue having to play some extended defense. Nice catch by Kronovi. J-Russ was waiting there that whole time. If Kronovi doesn't catch that perfectly, J-Russ has a counterattack opportunity on lock. That was a perfect catch by Kronovi.
Thanks. ball control. That is so important, especially at this level. And you see a lot of the best players like Arsenal, he's so good at it. Taking time when you have it. That pass, a thing of beauty. Churro, I was curious what he was going to do here. Just hovering around on the back wall and that light touch. And he didn't go straight out with it. He just let it ricochet off his car, off the backboard and out. That was a touch that caught the defense by surprise.
Definitely. You more so expect Turo to try to force that himself a lot of times on the back wall, but he had Kronovi on the wing right there waiting, and so that soft touch can really throw things off when you expect Rogue to just push the ball as fast as they can behind their cars. But Rogue looking pretty clean overall, James. This is crunch time for them. They've been in this spot in the Swiss stage so many times. They have failed to get to the playoffs so many times. They've been more successful lately, and I think that they're starting to figure things out overall today. First killer turn Turo. Kronovi gonna pop it up for Turo, and it's really Sonic struggling to hang on to the ball.
And a lot of that is due to how fast this Rogue team is playing, particularly First Killer. Even in game one, there was a time where he got bumped, and instead of trying to get back, he just keeps going upfield, grabs the opposing boost, and a big save from Turo there. But First Killer, he'll go downfield. He'll steal your boost. He'll immediately turn to make a second effort on the ball. Comes off the ceiling there to go for the touches. First Killer is playing confidently, and it's making things very difficult for the Sonics. It's tough for them to know when they're going to get beat to the ball, when First Killer's going to turn. They have no idea. And right now, that unpredictability and speed from First Killer is throwing off the Sonics enough to give Rogue the edge in this series.
Turo gave it right back to First, but Rogue just trying to keep the ball away from Sonics, who have kept this game close, still within one. Nice challenge by First Killer, and now he's barreling downfield, but Shock set it up for, well, wrong teammate, Turo, and it's boomed downfield. Another great clear for the Sonics. Clears are great, but you need a couple more shots on net. Here comes J-Russ off the ceiling. He got bumped. Shock can't get there in time. First Killer gets it out again. Rolds is just trying to buy time. Was it enough? First Killer's downfield. Sets up Kronovi. No, it's just too far away. J-Russ has another clear.
Rolda is very fortunate that Kronovi didn't have any boost in the tank there. Otherwise, he would have been able to line up that ball. It was a bit of a hospital ball. Could have been scored. So Sonics get away with one there. And this is very similar to game one, Jarby, where Rogue seemed to have a lot of the good chances. Will they get another one here? The demo from Kronovi. That is an unblockable shot.
Kronovi makes himself as big as possible in the air. I dare you to challenge me. Boom goes Roldiz. 3-1 Rogue.
And those feel bad. If you're Roldiz.
And if you're great if you're Kronovi.
I mean, yeah, if you're Kronovi, you've got him locked into the crosshairs. Target acquired. Roldiz, there's no way he's going to get away.
Oh. Turo just slapped the ball away and wins another 50. Well, good luck, Sonics. They really want to control the ball, try to pass it to each other, and then when it doesn't work, because this first man for Rogue just positioned so far ahead, and it's so difficult for Sonics to feel like they have any space ever. Rogue all over the place, seemingly 4 or 5 blue cars on the pitch, but there's only 3, and Rogue are almost to their 3rd win to get to the playoffs.
And this is a great look from Rogue. They're playing with such confidence. Kronovi hitting a big shot there. Out of the 3 goals, only 1 assisted. So we are seeing some great individual effort. And Kronovi especially, that play does so much for the mentality. You can tell that that's going to be a big boost for Kronovi. Hitting that shot. Roldiz, on the other hand, that's got to be frustrating anytime you're trying to keep a ball out of the net. And you see that coming. He knew that was coming. Yeah. And there was nothing he could do about it.
He just jumped up and said, I hope I at least get the touch after I die, but did not. And I think for Rogue, I don't remember the last time I've seen Rogue play this cleanly, James. And when I see First Killer at the bottom of the scoreboard in a win, that means things are clicking pretty well for you as a team. I feel like so many times Rogue just try to force the issue, try to force a play style. And even if they don't have the resources or if they don't have the positioning, they still want to press forward even though they have no business doing so. They feel so cohesive right now against Sonics, who just haven't been able to find a way out. They've tried to mix it up a couple of times, but Rogue just have their number right now.
They certainly do. And now they're one game away from punching their ticket to the playoffs in this fall major, and that would be huge. A ton of points, ton of money on the line, and a great way to make up for some of those past performances.
Some renewed vigor for Rogue. Getting to the playoffs for even more points certainly bodes well for that confidence in the rest of the season. But Soniqs, they have had a tough day today, have surprised a lot of people. First with, on the day, subbing in Shock for Sathu, but it proved to be probably the better move considering their past results. But now they have to find a way to squeak out a victory here against Rogue. Turo already in front, and it just doesn't matter what you do. Look, Soniqs all low on boost. Rogue already have full control of the pitch. Here's almost a double, but First Killer ends up winning the 50 anyway.
And some good boost stealing coming out from Rogue. This is going to be tough for the Soniqs to break out of, especially with how aggressive this Rogue team is.
Roltis has been sitting on 0 boost for like 20 seconds. He's been trying to pick up dimes anywhere he goes, and that's been helping Rogue in the challenge game. It can be a lot harder to win those 50-50s. Kronovi back on defense. Another save. J-Russ wins at 50, but that's just going to buy a little bit of time. And now already up in the air, Roltis puts it on target.
Wow.
Shock dive in front. J-Russ is up. He has the shot, but it's too wide. Slapped down by Turo anyway. And Turo, he's got a lane out on the carry. Can't get the flip out. And do they get through? No, Soniqs block it for now, but Rogue. Oh, First Killer finding another gap.
That was some big defensive stops from Rogue. Quality shots as well from the Soniqs. About half the time, I bet those would find their way into the net against maybe another team that's not as quick on the reflexes. That was some impressive reaction time.
Ooh. Another long ball, and when they chase these long balls down, they seem almost to run into a Soniqs player every time, which has to be tilting for Soniqs when you have to avoid a blue car every time you touch the ball. It doesn't help your efforts at all trying to move down the field. We're halfway through this game. J-Russ finally put the shot on net, but it's no good. Kronovi had the save. Here comes another shot, and it's not close. Kronovi there again for the clear. Finally, Roltis has eclipsed 100 points in this game. It's taken 2.5 minutes for one single player on the Soniqs to get that many. Now 2 have it, but that shows you how dominant Rogue have been in this opening half of Game 3. Soniqs, another touch, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. J-Russ finally puts it in.
You talk about aerial experts. J-Russ, he's been going for a lot of air dribbles in this game. He also loves being up there. That time, passing to himself off the backboard. That was gorgeous. And J-Russ, despite Rogue having all that possession, all the shots, they find themselves battling from behind.
They scored once, but now the big question for me is, can you score twice? Can you get some insurance? Because First Killer's in the air, can't put the ball on target. Another decent enough 50, at least gives Rogue a chance to battle for midfield, and in fact they're going to push a little farther. But look at Soniqs, still just they're trying to keep that ball away from Rogue. If it means we air dribble backwards to find a teammate and make the save off the crossbar, but they can't. First Killer puts the cannon through the net.
This was unreal. A haymaker from First Killer. That one bounces off the crossbar, bouncing on the goal line, eventually finding its way in. Turo led him perfectly so that First Killer could hit that ball on the run and really smash it.
Hard for the Soniqs to defend, and hard for Kronovi to get back to that save. Roltis gets the goal for Soniqs.
And that's an unfortunate touch, and even Kronovi probably should have gotten contact on that ball, but Turo, it skipped off his hood and also off Roltis to even get the ball in that situation on that trajectory. So that is a series of unfortunate events for Rogue. But now on the other end, they get it right back.
Okay, so Kronovi's like, all right, First Killer, I'm planting this right back to you. And then First Killer gets around the ball again for a perfect rebound to turn Turo. Again, What do you do against this guy when Kronovi when First Killer plants it off Kronovi and he's like, oh yeah, I'm actually still carrying the ball. Kronovi's just like part of the ball for First Killer on that last play. So it's tied up. Didn't take Rogue long. The Sonics, they're starting to heat up, starting to find a couple more challenges in the attacking third.
First Killer, he's never afraid to dive in. I think that's what makes him dangerous. It's also what can make him a liability, but when he is on fire, when he's playing well, it is so frustrating to play against, and it can get your team back in a game, and we're seeing it work in favor of Rogue right now. First Killer, see if he can keep up this momentum.
Ooh, not the best clear, but everybody's low on boost, and First Killer, he's hungry and munching on every single boost on this pitch, and he picks up another goal.
Again, he's so close to the plate. He is hungry for goals, hungry for an opportunity to strike, and that was a massive goal. If they can hold on for 41 more seconds, Rogue will be moving on, and the Sonics will be eliminated.
Sonics look for an answer. They've had a couple of nice opportunities. J-Russ has been behind one of them. Worlds is behind the other. Now J-Russ wants some space, and that ball right in front of the box, but Kronovi recovered back over, and Rogue got out, and now they carry the ball down and waste so much time off the clock for the Sonics. Kronovi puts it down in front. A long day for Rogue, a long split for Rogue, but in the final seconds, they have to play defense one more time. Kronovi, long clear, Rolls tries again, looking for Shock on the wing. They got J-Russ too, but the ball touches the ground. Rogue move to the North American playoffs.
And even in those final moments, Kronovi on 0 boost killed so much time at the end, forcing the Sonics up, forcing them to waste boost. And that was such a good play in the closing moments. Rogue looked very good. The Sonics, you thought they might be able to bring it back. Every game was close, but Rogue had that little bit extra. You could tell that they had the edge. Even though the games were close on the scoreline, Rogue was the better team out there today.
They had the sixth sense today, James. Rogue, rarely do they look that clean. And it's scary when they do. First Killer, Turinturo, and Kronovi, it was a full team effort against the Sonics. And while they might have struggled throughout the day and throughout this split, they do make it to the final 8 teams remaining in the Fall Major. That's it for the teams. We have everybody set in their slots for the North American Major. We're going to close out the day with Leaf and the rest of the guys. We'll see you later.